Y'all, today is the final episode of the Hippo Defense Speedrun, in which case we're looking to hit 2,300 by playing nothing but the Hippo as both white and black. Thank you to all of you that have been liking, commenting, watching through this, and making this series possible. A quick reminder as well that 30% off discount code, good for any or all of my online courses, is June 30. And there's not much time left, so make sure to go down to the description below, go down to the pinned comment, plug in the discount code of June 30, and you can get 30% off no matter how many courses you decide to invest in, including the Advanced Hippopotamus Defense course, over 21 hours of content meant to bring you from knowing nothing about the hippo to bringing you to a very high level of mastery. I hit the National Master title by playing nothing but the hippos both sides. I'm a big believer in it, and thank you to the nearly 200 of you that have invested in that course thus far. On top of that, before we get started, shout out to my mom. Okay, shout out to my mom. She just got me a couple more hippos to add to the collection. I got to work in my background here and line them all up for you guys. But here's the first one. I guess they're both vintage. The second one is here. This one's super sick. So, yeah, I mean, look, I like the hippo, okay? I just do. In fact, I'm probably going to get a hippopotamus defense table soon on top of that. All right, let's get things going here, guys. 5+0 chess. We're going up against very strong players today, so I got to remind myself right now to play quickly and look to focus in on using the clock as a weapon. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. All right, so it looks like they're transitioning into an Averbach. I will continue to finish out my hippo and then probably play F5. That's what happens nearly every game against the Averbach. Now, that could shift it. They play D5 and we lock it up. Okay, we're still going to play F5 at some point there most of the time. Okay, now that bishop on F4, that's a little bit loose. A little bit loose. If I kick the bishop and it goes to G3, I could kick again and take on D4. If I kick again and it goes to E3, maybe that's a little overextended. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go bishop B7 first. Usually it's good advice to just finish out the hippo. There we go. So the bishop runs back. They realize that this pawn is weak. And since I'm able to castle kingside, I'll throw that in. They haven't put their queen on D2. Now with C5, I can take that guy twice. I'm okay with that. In fact, do I take with the knight or with the pawn? If I take with the knight, that keeps my pawn structure intact. I will say that I could always take on D4 as well. So I'll just take with the pawn, because I can always take and then undouble my doubled isolated pawns there. I'm guessing something like rook B1. I'll probably look to defend the bishop there with rook over to B8. Okay, rook C1. So now we got takes. This is all of a sudden a threat. That's something that could actually happen. I'll start with taking then. Knight captures back. Do I want to target that bishop? Probably. I don't see why not. We're up a pawn, so trading down is good for me. If you run with it, maybe bishop A6. That could work. That could work. The knight is obviously a little bit vulnerable. Of course, if you move your knight, I take your bishop or your pawn, depending. So this is not a threat right now, but it is good pressure. So they go with that route. Okay. Well, in that instance, I could take. Takes, I'm okay. If the queen captures back, maybe knight C6. Going after the knight on D4. Bishop A6 as well actually looks pretty solid. Or E5. Wait, what's wrong with E5? I don't think anything's wrong with E5. Because the knight's pinned. If you move the knight, I get the queen. If you don't move the knight, I take it. Okay, now if I take the knight, they take my bishop, I take their bishop. That is, I mean, that's good for me. I could also go bishop A6 and start another pin. I'll do that. So now I got this threat. This is also a threat. Taking the rook and then taking the queen. And okay, so they end up taking on E7. If I take here, they go knight C6, looking at check. No thanks. So I'm thinking we take on D4 first. Okay, the rook's still hanging. Now you got a bishop hanging. Instead of, in that position, taking a rook, and then there's really no threats left except this, which is easy to stop. I'm going to go here. Now I have a double threat going. And right now in this position, we're sitting at even material. So I think white's game's just falling apart right now. They broke it open too rushed, too quickly against the hippo. Okay, I could take... I mean, I think this is winning. I think this is winning, and I think this is winning. Which one is the best? If I take the knight, the queen has to take. I take the rook. That looks pretty strong. Takes, and we're up a rook for a pawn. I could take the bishop as well, but why not just take the rook? I mean, a rook's a rook, right? If the bishop went there, I could offer a trade, maybe. They end up trading down. I don't know if that's what they should have went with there. Now, okay, they're trying to take some space. That's fine. I'd say e6 feels a little bit vulnerable. I will start with just putting both of those rooks on open files. Why not? Start with that. Maybe here? Rook b4, looking to take. That looks pretty fun. Okay, if you go there, I can offer a trade. Now with a5, all right, we'll take h4. Now we're up a rook, just straight up. My king feels pretty secure. They can't access this diagonal right now, which is important. Okay, I mean, connected rooks, hard to argue with that. And then look to trade. Start exposing that king a little bit. It's going to be hard for this king to hide because you don't have an h-pawn. Okay, check is a concept all of a sudden. I don't really care, though. Is that bad? I think it's fine. If you check me, I block. I'm okay there. I could even offer a trade. I think either one's good. I'd probably just push f6 just to be safe and keep that pawn unable to move. But yeah, I mean, if they take the rook, it's over. Takes, you could block with the queen. I take, at some point the king's going to have to go to h2 and the game's over. So you can't take my rook. There we go. Okay, our guy wanted a rematch. We'll see if he goes for an Averbach again or not. Okay, it looks like no. Okay, since you're playing a little bit slower, I'm just going to sneak that move in. Push the pawn up one. Here we go. Okay, you can't move your b-pawn. Now, I could do this. Although there's a pawn on c5, so this is eliminated because of that pawn. Let me go rook b1 just to support that bishop because of that tension. Now I'm going to take space slowly, incrementally, purposefully, all the leads. Okay, castling kingside. Looks good. Now that guy's defended. Okay, let's take the space they give us. Thinking about this doesn't work. I just take your knight. My bishop is defended. Notice there, if I took the bishop, they'd have a little in-between move, which isn't fun. Okay, I don't really want to trade bishops right now. Thanks, though. Appreciate that offer, but I think I'm okay. As my kingside bishop offering me protection when I push these pawns. I'm thankful that this bishop's there, giving me that extra support. Yeah, let's just keep on pushing here. Okay, Hippo versus King's Indian. You can get some very nice kingside attacks. Shout out to my brother Joey back there. That chessboard on the wall you see is the game played where I hit NM. And a very similar setup to this. So my opponent, I think in this kind of spot, he played a4 and the queen was on c8, but it's the same idea. We're going to take space, tuck the knight. g5 now is an idea. You can't play rook e8 or else the knight only has h5 available. We want a pawn. Now with all that pressure, I could play c4. At the same time, I'm not really worried about that. Check aside, but if I move my king somewhere, here, takes, I got discoveries. Now if I go here, the bishop is looking right at me, so I'm going to go to h2. You always want to look at their diagonal moving pieces. What square is the safest out of all these? And I'd say right now, it's h2. right? Now sometimes you got to go to h2 to defend your h3 pawn, but in this instance, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm not really worried about defending this pawn. It's more so to just get off of those lines of fire. g5 is definitely something to look at, kicking that knight back. I'm okay trading my queenside knight for their bishop. Okay, so their queen is looking to eye me up again. That pawn's hanging. Not much I can do about it, but something to keep an eye on. If I play f5, they get activity from that. I could play h4. I'll do that. Just keep taking space. Maybe bishop h3 before g5 could be good. I got that defended well. c4 is still not going to work for them. d5, I think I push. Yeah, push that pawn up. Knight runs. If I could get a knight to c3, I could end up winning a pawn there. Okay, knight b6. Okay, so that's looking to support c4, it looks like. I could play c4. I think I'm going to do that. Because both of your knights are 2 squares diagonal of d4, so that is a hole. That is a weakness, but your knights are not in position to take advantage of that. Anytime you're 2 squares diagonal, you're 4 moves away with your knights. That's the biggest weakness of the knights there. Now if I take this way, it keeps things solid. They're also going to start trading down. Or not trading down, running in here. So maybe I look to, because my knight here is not doing much. So I think I'm going to look to trade this guy. See if they want to take. I mean, I'm looking at a5 right now. Then I take here. And now I'm happy that these knights aren't on the board. Because that knight on b6 definitely had some potential. Okay, so rook back to b8. Back to this again. e5. Takes. I don't know. Okay, let's just take space again. If you take, I could go intermediate move and then take with my knight. Here they run. h6. h6 looks good. Rook takes. Check. That's fine. Okay. So, and if you take, I go g5. So I have a fork there. And that forces your bishop back to h8. Yes, this is locked up, but I'm happy with the dark square control that I have. Yeah, so the rook takes there. So I think if I take the rook, they take. They're just getting 2 pieces for the rook. So I got to take here. If you take on b1, I'd take with check. Okay, so we're up. The exchange, down a pawn. Good attacking chess still. Okay, I want to kick your knight off of that square. Start targeting the H file. This is also a diagonal that I think could come in handy. So queen a1, queen c3, queen b2, whatever. Something I got to eye. And something like this could be good too. f5, I'm looking at it. The only thing I'm concerned about when it comes to f5 is that knight e5, the knight improves a lot. Right now it really can't do anything. And the queen gets a little bit more vision. So I'm not saying that's bad. I just got to play it at the right moment. Okay, I'm fine with trading there. Trade. They're eyeing up check. I don't really like that possibility for them. If I go here, they offer a trade. Don't like that. I could check. Okay, I'll start with that. It's not really threatening anything, but just to play actively. Okay, let me... I gotta start moving faster. Gotta move faster. We're at that point. Okay, so let's prevent that check from happening. d3 is protected, hence point of rook h3. I'd like to get my queen there. Of course, knight f8's always ready to go. Sure. I can... that square up, at the very least. Of course, all this is covered right now. Do I want a trade here? I think I actually wouldn't mind a trade. Maybe I will go for a trade. d4, check. I'm okay now if their bishop flies in. Okay, so they go with that. Let me... offer a trade now. Takes, takes. These are both weak squares. Probably got to get my knight to c2 to cover those. I think that'd be a good start. Maybe swing my rook back. If they don't take, then okay, I could take the queen or not. But the bishop can't move anywhere right now. Okay, they go there. In that case, sure. Knight d5 maybe? Okay, never mind. Rook back. a3. Okay, that's weak. I want to dance my bishop back, take and take. Takes, takes. Okay. Okay. c5 is weak. Knight a5, maybe I activate my king. Okay, c5 falls. Check, I just improve. I gotta look out for forks. Maybe rook c7? Oh. Okay, rook c7 is safe. I'll activate there. Here. Here. I mean, your bishop's hanging. Bishop's hanging. f7 is looking very weak. I don't know how you defend that, actually. Okay, check. I run. Oh, there you go. Okay, good move. Depends where the knight goes. Okay, check. Check, check, check. And we should be good. Okay, you well played. Good game there. Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So we're starting to get Tiger Modern, Tiger Defense games. I'm a big fan of this. I've won my last 3 tournament games with this. The first time I played it, I got wiped. I ended up playing h5 against that h4 move, and I just, yeah, it was bad. But h6 against h4 I tend to do a lot better with so far. Okay, and the nice thing with the Tiger, once you see this setup, you can kind of just do the same thing every single time. Get this formation, rook c8, c5, and you're good. Anytime you see h4, h6. If you see h4, h6, f4, then you go h5. Now that move, that's a good move in a sense, right? Because you're attacking f5. You're putting pressure on that square. Now if they push and I end up locking it up, knight f5. So I'm going to transpose back into a hippo type formation. And c5 looks good. It looks like they're trying to morph it back into like an Austrian kind of thing. I could go h5 myself. I don't, again, I was just saying I don't usually go h5, but that's with the knight on g1. The knight right now can't, I don't even know how you get here. The bishop could, that's an insurance option for me. Yeah, so h4, that pawn is, again, this is weak, that's true, but your knight is not in position. It's all about where their piece placement is, right? That offers a trade. I don't know if I really want that right now, though. I could tuck the knight. I could go c5. I'll start with c5. Yeah, start with that. They lock it. Interesting. I mean, push takes a little bit vulnerable. If I push, I feel like that's pretty strong for me because I got a good presence on the queen side. If you ever play f4, takes, and e5 is mine. Great bishop on that diagonal that I failed to draw correctly for the first time. Now this is still weak though. Do I offer a trade? I think so. I think so. This is their good bishop. This is my bad bishop. Trade them off. Still got an eye on h4, so they can't castle. Okay, they go with that. Fair enough. I'll take that guy. I'd like to get to f4, but I can't. Knight e7, I don't really know where that knight's going. I feel like this is a better spot to be in. At least I'm putting pressure on a bunch of pawns. g4 as well. Push, takes. I improve. Again, you could go to g5 that way. Maybe knight h7. Okay, throw in a check. Make them lose castling rights or trade off queens. Okay, they end up trading. Do I want to trade queens though? I didn't really think that far. Takes. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Takes. I improve. It looks fine. They do got a lot of pressure here, so let me take that guy off. Improve my knight. Neither of our bishops are great. I would say theirs is a little bit better. Mine has better potential probably because of all these dark square pawns, whereas this one has a bunch of pawns on its own color. But yeah, if I'm white, I'm not defending that. I'm definitely saving it. Yep, save that bishop. I could go c4 and then look to throw my knight in. I like that idea because that's a good square. I want to get a knight there ASAP. They're probably looking at g5. I'm looking at c5. Reminds me a little bit of a Banco Gambit here with that c4 move. One of my private students and I were just talking about that concept. Knight a4 as well. Looks pretty aggressive. I'll start with this though. There. b3 is weak. If I can get into b3 and d4, that would be good. Okay. Bishop back. Does that work? I think so. If you take here, I go check. If you don't, I go check. Yeah, I like the weaknesses right now. Maybe I can improve my bishop as well with that kind of process. Takes, check, I'm still okay. Although if I push, their knight does get better. So I don't think I like that as much as I thought I did. Okay, I'll keep the tension here. Just keep the tension for a second. Check. F5 maybe? F5 looks good. Takes. If they attack it, I defend. If they attack it right now, I could push. Okay, and if you take this guy, I have check. So that doesn't, I don't think that works for them. So where are you going to go? Back? Yeah, back. We improve? I mean, you still can't take, so... Okay. Start improving there. Your bishop's not good. Mine's not great. Maybe I start rerouting it. Very slow burn game here. I'm not going to be able to win this fast. Okay, well the knight wanted to go there. It lost track of that, so let me take that away. Now I'll stop that again. Now this knight's bad. I'd rather keep those knights on the board. Okay, I up their king. Maybe something like that next. They can't offer a trade with my knight this move. Okay. Maybe rook b7 as well. I like that idea, because you can't defend it with the rook. Okay, we improve if you take check, check, mate. Yeah, they can't take. There's just too many weaknesses here right now for them. All because of that Banco Gambit style c4 move. Still can't guard it there. How else could they guard this? I don't know. If you push, takes, 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 I have the numbers. Again, if you take c5, it's a mate in 3. That should be it. Okay, we got Dallin 9-1. 2300 here. Let's get it. G6, okay. Are we going to get another tiger? We'll see. No, we get this 3-pawn attack thing. Now there, guys, if you want to leave the hippo type formation, you can go d5. If c4, that gives up their advantage on the spot. So it is better to play knight f3 or knight c3 at some point before going into a full 4-pawn center. If you push them out too quickly, tied game. I'd rather have black. Okay, so we got an Austrian. I'm keeping an eye on f5. If you do look to attack it, yeah, so now I go 1, 2, 3, h4, I always go h5, so I got 3 here, and then I'm going to have 3 here is the idea. Okay. Okay, we attack again. Now, c3 is a good idea for them in the sense that they're looking to give this pawn some protection. They're still looking towards that option. I'm thinking takes, takes, push, push here, and then bishop a6. That tends to be a good idea to trade down for that bishop. So let me take here first. If they take with the pawn, I could do that right away. I don't have to push. But I like pushing, because it kind of gives them like a hard decision to make. If you take, I take with the knight. I don't care about my knight hanging. E3 falls. Now that you push, very key concept here against the Austrian. They got a great bishop on d3. You have a terrible bishop on c8. You want to trade those off. So I'm going to attack this bishop. If it runs, maybe I take there. I don't know. But in general, bishop a6 is a good option as well. So I'm going to go for that bishop now. If you run, we can attack that rook. Okay, you're going to go to one of these squares, and then I throw in a fork, and I'm able to trade down. Is the idea. Or I go bishop d3. That could work as well. Okay, so they're giving up the exchange. That's very tempting, but I don't think that's good for me to let that bishop stay there. I think I got to get rid of that guy. Okay, because without that bishop there, their attack is a lot less dangerous. Very tempting to take that. I'll have to take a look after to see if that was the correct move or not here versus just taking that guy. Now, if I take, they could trap me, quote unquote, but then at the end of that, d5 is weakened. So I'm okay with that. Take on b2, go to c4. Okay, you get the material back. Great. Now d5 is mine. Could go queen or knight. If I go queen, the queen does have potential. Can you kick my queen? Not really, although you could go rook c7. Do I care? I think I might. Here. Oh, no, I don't. If you go here, takes, knight d5, and then there's a fork. Right? I think you're just going to lose a piece. You can't even... Like, if you go there, I'm not winning the exchange. I'm winning a piece. That's much better. Okay. Don't just... Oh my gosh, a rook's worth more. Let's take it. Wait a second. You lose your knight. Take the free piece. All right, let's take a look at that. Again, guys, I talk about this in the advanced course. I've talked about it on the channel, not as in-depth as the course, obviously, but you got 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, against the Austrian. Against the Averbach, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing my hippo. But this is a very concerning move. You don't want to block with the knight. You don't want to go here, practically speaking. Okay. And here we go. So we got our 3 on d4. We got our 3 covering f5. Now we take. Knight b4 would have been good there. d5 is also good. But okay, knight b4 is the engine move there. Good to know. Going for this idea right now. Okay. I ended up blocking it up and then going for it. Still playable. Now that was a mistake. So apparently it's about minus 0.8 if I take this rook. Yeah, and I was looking at rook c8, trading more. I just... I don't know, guys. It doesn't feel comfortable to me once f5. We offer a trade. They run away. No, that's bad. Bring this guy back. I mean, doesn't that seem like a good attack? I don't like it. I don't like it. But that is the best move. So there you go. Rook c8 is better than bishop d3, apparently. I guess I can play bishop d3 whenever. I don't need to be in the biggest rush to do that. Now here, yeah, take the pawn. Once everything falls off, oh my gosh, we have a great square. Knight or queen, and then that was just a blunder, right? Because I take, and then I'm winning the rook or the bishop. Again, you go here. I'm not giving up my 3-point piece for your 5-point rook. That'll only be +2 material. I'm going +3. You save it. Okay. I jump right back. Yeah, you got a rook on the 7th rank. Okay, my knight's just carving up the pawns, though. Okay. Okay, knight c6, d5. This could go a lot of different ways. If e5, I'd go a3 there. Bishop g4, interesting. Okay, I don't really know what setup they're going for quite yet, so I'll go a3 with it. Maybe b4 could work. I guess it depends where they put this pawn. But I don't want to push too quickly, kicking that bishop back, because then h5 could be very annoying. Okay, I'll start with this. See where this guy wants to go. They go back. Honestly, that makes my life a lot easier. Your f-pawn is blocked, so I can go hippo with it. If you go queenside, we know what we're doing there. Okay. Probably tuck this knight next. Unless they castle queenside, I'll just start pushing. Okay, so aggressive formation, but you've moved your bishop twice. They may move this again at some point, just, you know, to let the pawns be free. I don't know. I could go b4. I tend to not play the best in those positions, though, when the king is not queenside yet, because there's really no benefit of opening up the queenside right now. So I'll just keep doing my hippo, see what they do from here. Okay, bishop back again. Third move for that piece. Now if I do this, push, they run, push. I don't like it. That's just a personal thing. Okay, that's just a personal thing. I can't castle because of that. Knight f3. Knight f3, g5, yeah. c4 takes. That could work. Okay, I'll do that. Now this breaks the rule of, oh my gosh, if they take, they get automatic activity. That said, they've really been playing pretty slowly, and I'm okay with this right now. There's no rook there yet. Probably take with one of the pawns. If I take with the knight, usually that's good. Am I worried about castling queenside, though? Queenside, rook over, takes. No. Could go d4 at that point and start taking all day long. That could work. Okay, I'll do that. If they castle, probably here. I'm not able to get that pawn back because it's defended. So now I'll push. Takes, 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 takes. I'd like to get my queen off of that d file soon. Queen c2, rook c1, or rook d1. Castling at some point could be good. I don't got to be too rushed. Push, takes, takes, takes. No. Okay, well in that case I'll castle to defend my bishop, and you lost track of h3. Okay, so we don't have a bishop, they don't have a bishop. Both of which were great attacking pieces for both sides. Again, you take, I take. You check, I probably just run. And this is generally what I'm looking at. Rook c1, rook d1. Start putting pressure on that queen side. Now, if queen c2, I could eye up e4 at that point, because it's a queen. You can't, unlike a bishop, you can't just take c4 and act like everything's okay. What? Really? That does not feel... Huh? I see the vision. I see the vision. I will say, I mean, your king is exposed. How do I take advantage of that? Takes, takes. Here, bishop. Okay, well, I could take with the pawn. No, takes. No, that's fine. I don't usually like IQPs, isolated queen's pawns, but it was a whole different scenario than usual. I mean, they got a castle king on the queen side, a pawn on b5. All of these squares are holes now. None of the black pawns can ever cover those again. You can put a pawn there, but you can't cover it. And I always have knight f4 ideas. Ultimately, I'm like, do I want these knights on or off the board? I'd say on. We can target this knight on c6 pretty easily. And okay, g5, that's a good move. That prevents knight f4, which was on my radar. I do have knight c3, takes, takes. No. Tuck the queen. I have f5, look at c6. This is becoming more and more of an option. How do you defend that? Rook d6? That feels pretty awkward, bro. Okay, king b7. Okay. More pressure. You can't move the knight or else c7 drops. Again, I'm happy these knights are here. This is a target. This is not. I suppose if I go knight c3, they could take. Although now that's there. Here. Okay, I'll start with that. You got vision over here, but all these squares are taken away. If you go to d4, I take. Queen saves herself. I don't know what to do at that point. Maybe knight back? Takes, takes, takes. I don't know. Yeah, so you can do that, but I think I'm going to be up material. Because my knight's defended. You can sack a bishop for a pawn to get my knight. That's fine. I mean, right now I'm +2 in terms of material. That gives you that material back, but then f6 falls. Our hippo bishop just starts flying in against these overextended weak pawns in the endgame, which is one of my favorite things about the hippo. Your opponent plays crazy. They push pawns all day long. The game opens up. Oh my gosh, your hippo bishops are perfectly aligned to target weaknesses. Take, take, take. Yeah, f6 is pretty weak. I could either take it right away or even take my time with it. I think either is playable. Yeah. knight e5. So that move, where's that knight going? I don't know. I take, I run back. Maybe they're planning here and then here with that idea, but I could, if they take here, I take their knight. I'm not taking their bishop because then the rook flies in and then knight f3. No, I'm good. Okay, that doesn't do anything. I also have a pin there. Okay, the hippo bishop flies in and yeah. Okay, they want a rematch. Here we go. What setup are they going to go for? Interesting. Now this is, I don't think I've seen this on the speedrun yet. Good setup. They're looking towards f5, so I don't really want to block with my knight. Okay, if you push, I push. I'm looking at d4. Looks like they're keeping that open, but I don't know about that. It feels a little bit overcommittal to me. So they're looking at this move, and honestly right now, if I take with the knight, that my knight on c6 is vulnerable. I could go there. I could go queen d7. I could go bishop here. They don't actually really have the numbers right now for f5 because the bishop's not supporting it. Okay, Alfie and Keto. Still looking to maybe throw my knight in. Not anymore. We could trade all day. Takes, takes. It's reminding me a little bit of like a Sicilian Nightorf kind of thing. Maybe Sicilian Dragon Nightorf, I don't know. Here, takes, push. Is winning. Takes, takes, takes here. I suppose there's, in that case, there's a pin though. Maybe I got to take on d4 first. Gets super complicated super fast. So they're castling. I mean, I could go c4 and just go crazy over here. I'll do that. Okay, so I got my queen side pawn chain now. Now it's just pushing because they got great control of the center. They're looking towards f5. If I jump in, that doesn't really do much for me. Here, that's too rushed. Here. Okay, we'll do that. I was thinking about bishop a6 too. That might be better. I'm not sure. I do like the fact that these pawns can keep pushing together. If a4, I'm pushing, right? All that's fine with me. Now, they're looking to plant a knight on c5 if I end up playing b5 there. So let me throw this knight here. This knight can get kicked all over the place. My main objective is to cover c5 with my bishop so that if push and knight in, I can take it. I suppose knight a5 as well. It's actually a good idea if the knight locks itself in. Now it did. Why would I give them that, right? Why not play here and then target it like this? That way, yeah, that they're going to have to figure something out there. Maybe queen c2? I mean, b3 is not good at all for their weaknesses. If they kick me and I jump in, they go takes, takes, takes. No, thank you. So I'd have to go to g7. I don't mind the knight there. I know that's crazy, but I don't mind it. It's covering some good defensive spots. Okay, I'll add some pressure to that knight. I can't go queen d7 yet. Okay, now that move right there takes Takes, 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 takes. Beautiful knight. Right? I mean, my knight on c4 is a monster. I'm keeping that check there as tension that I can use whenever I want. I don't have to do it right away. In fact, if I did do it right away, maybe the king starts running. Now the king can't run. So I'd rather have the king on b1 than f1, for example. This is a threat. No, that's definitely a threat. That's definitely a threat. Okay, so they stop it. I could check. Check. Could do that. I could do other stuff too. I could go b5. That is aggressive. They run. I push. I trade down. I mean, yeah, that can't be bad. I'm getting the exchange. So they don't want to give me the exchange. Now we push. If at any point I can somehow just move my bishop somewhere, I am threatening a fork, so that's something to keep in mind. If they take, I would probably go rook b8 there. Queen a5. Looks aggressive. Castling looks aggressive. I'll start with that, because I want to get this rook over to b8. Okay, so my knight's covering both of those squares. Maybe queen e7. Rook over. I do got to be careful about that, though. Takes, takes, takes. Yeah, I don't love that that's opening up my position so much. Do I just keep it closed? Here? I mean, if you push, I could do that maybe. I could also run with the knight and then it's locked up. If you take, I am threatening your bishop. I think here and here is the plan, or takes. If I'm desperate, I could look to trade queens. Okay, so we have more tension here now. Takes, takes. Check is okay. Actually, you know what? I can just take that because takes, takes. Right now, anywhere my bishop moves, it's check. If you run, nope. If you go here, takes or takes. Am I really threatening anything, though? I mean, if I go here, they just run. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking too good for them. Okay. Round 3 with this guy. Okay, looks like we're getting some kind of... I was going to say King's Indian. Now it's looking like a Black Lion, check PIRC, Philidor kind of thing. All right, so I'll tuck those knights. They're not taking the full center, so c4 stands out. g4 could be good. Okay, now they have. So c4 and I like g4. I like g4. If you play h5, I tuck. You don't really have a lot of pressure on g4 there, so I can get away with that. Tuck the knights. Looking at those. Looking at this. Okay, we'll take a little more space. Yeah, they're letting me attack on the king side pretty quickly, so I'll take that opportunity. If the pawn was here, it's like low-key almost over. I think it is over if the pawn was on e6. With the pawn on e5, my bishop is slowed down a little bit, so they got that going for them. But I think they just gave me too much space too quick. You go up against the King's Indian that's passive, that lets you just push on the king side, especially with a rook on h1. You play against a London that lets you do that. I don't know. My knight's on g3. Nothing's looking at it but a queen. Okay, the knight runs. Fair enough. Takes. I could also let them take. Takes. Yeah, I could take my time with it. Maybe here. I mean, if you want to win the pawn, you can. I'm going to have an H-file that's great to work with. Castle queenside, rook G1, and we're barreling down the G and the H. You can't lock it up unless you play G6, but if you play G6, boom. And then we're up a pawn. Here, takes, here, there. The pawn's not there, so I don't have bishop G7 ideas. So they're adding more pressure there, huh? Now that is weakening F5. Like, I could jump in there if I wanted to. Takes. Taking now feels a little bit better to me because knight F5 is so active. I mean, again, you can't take it. I'm threatening to take. Probably bishop F8. I don't see how else you can defend it. Pushing's not good. You defend it. I could add more pressure. That's a safe, solid move. If knight there, check. That might be the move. H6 is attacked twice at that point. I'm actually not seeing how they save that pawn. It's isolated. Your king's already committed there. Mine's still in the center because I'm playing a hippo. And you gave me a setup where I didn't have to castle fast. Okay, so we jump in there. Again, if here, check, the bishop doesn't defend anymore. Here, check, they run. Check, they run. Check, they run. Here. Very interesting tactic. It feels almost like a smother's mate, but our queen's on the opposite end of the usual kind of scholar's mate idea. But hey, we get the rook. That's fine. If you don't go there, what could they do? Maybe here? If they're check, there, check, we trade them up 2 pawns. That looks fine. You know what? If it's tempting to do this and then get the queen, but if I take the pawn, they take my queen. That's not good. So I gotta. I'll check that. King there. I think trading is the best thing I have. If you take, I take. So either way, black's going to be down 2 pawns. E5 is weak. You can't guard it with the bishop. I mean, guys, the hippo is just OP. I'm sorry. It just is. Someone's got to say it. I'm not saying I'm OP. I'm saying the hippo's OP. I mean, what other system, if you see a London, if you see a King's Indian, can crush it so fast? Here, and don't say Vienna. Don't do that. I mean, you're right, but don't do that. Okay, E5 is weak. Knight back. Yeah. Okay. Okay, he wants to go for round 4. We'll see what kind of setup we get this time. Okay, so very standard setup. Looks like they might be eyeing up F4. We'll see. Queen D2, I'll do that. Okay, interesting. There's different things I can do. The second I see F4, I'm doing my C5 thing. Now, Queen E2, that... They're probably trying to keep me guessing here. If I go C5, I don't want a castle right now. I just don't want to. The engine probably loves it, but I don't know. If I go here, check, that's fine, honestly. Okay, I'll do that. I can't block, I don't think, but I could block. Okay, taking towards the center is what we want to do in these kind of positions. F5 is still something they could look towards, but again, I have my 3 here. There's nothing in the way. If you check me, oh my gosh, there's something in the way, but there's no bishop there anymore. Okay, now I have a great bishop. I don't think this is that good for white. Rook b8. They might want to think about something like knight c4 to put some pressure on d6. I mean, rook b8, our king side bishop, our queen side rook working together in tandem. You're pinning my knight now. Do I go there? No. That is not good. Okay, so that is actually starting to become something I'm a little bit concerned about. Here, here. Push, no, because it's a pin. Here, here, here. Check. I run. I don't know. Doesn't look the best, honestly. Maybe I have knight b4 options. I don't know. I'll do that if I'm desperate. Check. Here. Takes. Rook over. It looks fun, I'm not gonna lie. What else could I do? I could do this kind of thing. You know what, guys? Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. So knight c4 is very aggressive on their part. That gives up a2. They get d6 and c5 out of it. My queen's active. The bishop's great. I have a rook that could start looking over. Of course, they have a knight on d6 and my king's on f8. I can't take there. I'm not stepping on the d file, that's for sure. Not doing that. Now, that's interesting. I was not expecting that move. Check. If I check, they kind of just improve their king. I think I'm okay on that. Queen back. If here, threatening mate, knight e5 looks good. So I don't think queen f3 is very good for them. Rook b8 is definitely on my radar. Knight e5 is on my radar. Rook b8 with threat and check, because then when your king moves, I have a rook flying in option. I'm not saying I have to do it, but that's there. It looks pretty good. I mean, if you step up, checkmate. If you go back, check. So that is definitely something to think about. If king b1 at some point in there, c3 would be pinned. And you can't step to the very corner because the a pawn's not there. What else? Here. Okay, king c2. Okay. Rook over. Is that a threat? Takes, check, there, check, there, check, there, mate. That is a threat. Okay, so I'm threatening check, check. Oh, maybe the king goes there? No, knight goes in. So this leads to a mate. Like if they take here, game over. Right? Takes. So how do they stop it? They could go. Okay, so they do that. Check here. Check. They run. Interesting. Takes. Check. No. That knight is feeling a little bit lonely to me. Can I trap it? No. There's probably something like ridiculously brilliant here. You can just sense it, right? I guess if my knight improves, my other one can fly in. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Although f4. Yeah. My king's in the way. I don't like that. I don't like that my king's blocking everything up so much. Here. Maybe bishop improves. It's not the prettiest bishop on earth, but at least it's eyeing up some squares. Okay, there we go. Here. That is something I can think about at the very least. Rook over, that's not good for them with that double threat. I don't think it is. I'll just maintain the double threat. Now I'm eyeing c3 as well, so that could be over fast. If knight there, we take all day long and we're up a piece for a pawn. I might even be able to play that, but might as well just go for the simple win there. Interesting. b4, just taking work, takes... no. Okay, I'll take with the bishop that way. I have c5 defended twice because that pawn is pinned. Okay, rook a6, we run away. They could sack again. Sack again, takes here. I just don't think white has enough. That is a scary bishop, I'll give them that. That is a hard position to defend, but I think I'm technically fine. Because I'm up a rook for a pawn. Okay, they don't. They go that way. Takes. Okay, yeah. Takes. No. Okay, well. So it looks like they're going to get their bishop on c5 without having to sack. Do I run with my king? I guess I run back. Very sharp game. I thought I don't want to lose that bishop there. Check, I drop, I think. Takes. Well, I didn't think they'd take, but okay. Check is always an option. Let's just do that, because why not? Okay, check is an option. I don't know what that does, unless the queen goes there, but okay. Trading the bishop would be nice. Okay. Just trying to get my king safe, guys. Come on. That doesn't work because the rook, but now I am threatening it. All right, let's check. Check. Pin the queen. There we go. All right, let's take a look at that one. So, yeah, I mean, this is slightly better for white. That's expected. We develop... Ooh, a blunder. That was a blunder. Okay, so I should castle. So why is this losing? What did they have? Okay, that makes sense. So they offer a trade. And then my position's just worse. It's about plus, almost plus 3. About plus 3. 2.99. We'll just call it plus 3. Wow. Okay, so that was a mistake. I think up until that point I was good. Let's just double check. C5 was good. Taking was good. Knight out was good. That was all engine stuff. Here I got a castle, though. Castle. I was worried about that. What do I have here? Really? Black is about minus 0.7. I thought I'm just down a pawn. Yeah, I guess they're a little extended. Kind of comes back to that whole our king is a lot more safe than theirs thing. Interesting. So that was a blunder. They missed the winning move. Now it's tied. I did that. I suppose... Ooh. See, this didn't even cross my mind for some reason. Ooh. Nasty. Of course, they do have a draw, I guess, but I definitely would have went with that if I saw that. So yeah, I could check. I've seen this idea so many times and I've covered it, but I gotta get that more cemented, I think. I ran. I'm not losing. It's about. It was 0.5. Now it's plus 1.5 for white. Okay. I mean. I don't know. I didn't mind my move. I didn't mind bishop d7. There they could take and check, and they're winning. So yeah, definitely a messy game, guys. Definitely a messy game. About plus 1 for white. It drops. That was a bad move for them. Really? See, sometimes, guys, the engine tells you something. Feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Be like, I should have saw that. Sometimes, just go, hey, you know what? Do your thing, Stockfish. So, right now, we're okay. It's about 0.4 for white. We trade. Now it's better for black. Okay. That might be a brilliancy. Let's see. It's not telling me. But I think that's a brilliancy. That's the engine move. Check. Ultimately, though, guys, I didn't really have time to calculate. I was just like, you know what? Let's just... It felt right. Let's start checking that king like crazy. If the king runs, check. Mate. Mate. There we go. Okay, but guys, when I'm playing the hippo and I make a mistake, I make a blunder, oftentimes in the hippo, you get the breather moment. You got 4 or 5 different moves. But if you make a blunder, make a mistake, or if you want to change something, go back to that original spot. So now if I get this set up again, which, let's be fair, I don't know if I ever will. Queen a5 is a blunder because that drops d6. And I knew it was a blunder or a great move. You know how that goes. But okay, if I get this kind of game again, I can go rook b8. I can also just castle. And even if you end up getting this pawn somehow, we have counterattacking play. Your king is on c1. A lot of open lines. Our king is on g8. So I'm going to try to keep that idea in mind going forward. All right, g3. Okay, looks like we're going up against maybe a King's Indian. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay, this is looking more and more like an Averbach. There's playable, there's playable, there's playable. That's okay. Alright, they got to be careful as the game progresses to not put the bishop there and then get some kind of fork idea. Now, one thing that does stand out to me is the bishop on f5 is not super comfortable. I'm going to start by defending my bishop because there's that tension there. Don't do that. Your bishop's done. Your bishop's cooked. Okay, there we go. e5. So it's an Averbach, but they have a fianchetto and a bishop on f5. Very interesting. Typically f4 is the way to go. Typically that's the move. Now I will say this feels a lot different. Definitely feels a lot different. I can't push this pawn. You know, I could, I actually, I don't mind this move. Now, again, I usually don't against c5, but if push takes, I get the e pawn, which is good for me. So, yeah, that's fine. Give up that pawn. Well, 2 pawns for 1 pawn, and then I get e5. If not, I could take towards the center. I could maybe kick that knight. Here, that threatens the knight. Not threatening this, but if I can get that e pawn, that'd be very good. They don't want to give me that. 2264. They know what they're doing. So those squares are not mine to take. They're just not. I could push. I'll start with that. You can't go there. Could go there. Maybe there? Nah, maybe not. I still have bishop c3. Takes. I like that. I like that. I like this too. The bishop's so awkward, but I can't do anything to it right now because they've pushed these pawns so well. I could take some space up. I mean, you can't take me, so might as well just leave that pawn there for a bit. This knight can't move either. So I'm looking at e5. How do they guard that? Here? That also covers g5. That would, I think, be a solid move. Now, typically, guys, against pushing, I relocate. I think we're going to do just that. So relocate the knight to the center. If they take with the pawn. It's your d pawn, so it's already defended, unlike your e pawn there if they ended up doing this. d3 is stronger than e3 by definition. Takes, we advance, or here, and take. Yeah. I like that. I think. I mean, I lose my bishop, which is bad. At the same time, they got double isolated pawns. c6 becomes weak. They could sack the rook. I don't think that's very sound, though. I think you got to go b6. Takes. Maybe I jump in. Do I want to take the bishop? Kinda. At the same time, it's not the best bishop. And I can always filter that other guy in anyway. Okay, so takes. We jump in. That's hanging. If I'm black, I'd probably try to figure out how to get some counterplay going because my king is in the center and I can't castle. So that's probably what black should be looking at. Good move. a6, looking to take. Okay, if I take, they take. Okay, I'm okay with that. Okay, so d4 is a hole. There's no black pawn that can ever cover that again. Knight b3 would do a good job solidifying that knight as well. That is hanging. Worst comes to worst, I could take and castle. I got to take first, right? Because I don't want to lose h3. Okay, we're actually up on the clock. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's always fun. The knight moves. Yeah. Okay, so the queen ends up running. Do I go to c6? Probably not. I could take here. Never mind. Never mind that. Because if I go there, it's check. Okay, so I run away. Check. No. Okay, now I can finally castle. My goodness. c2 is very strong. h4 here. Ooh. That is weak. If I push, they might have sack ideas. Bishop takes, knight takes, queen there. Okay, I'll go up a pawn. Yeah, if I push there, I think takes, and they threaten mate. If I go there en passant, I might be okay, but I don't know. All right, queen e5. We have trades are good. f4 looks fine to me. I think I'm going to do that. Now that does open up the position a bit. e3's weak. They could get their pawn back. At least we get to trade down. And honestly, both sides, guys, have really weak pawns. There. Takes, no. I'll start with this, though. I mean, they're threatening to win a pawn, so let me try to trade rooks. Takes. Very complicated. This is weak, this is weak, this is weak, this is weak, this is weak. Yeah, maybe that's not as weak as I think, because, yeah, I don't know how you target it, but, okay, bishop h6, so that's hanging. Does that matter? Not really. Knight back, rook back, I mean? No. Okay. I want to cover that square twice so my rook can actually do stuff. There. Okay. So now I have some landing spots for the rook. c2 is strong right now. I just got to keep that knight planted. d5, they got to keep their knight planted. I could jump in there. It's hard. I don't know. I don't got much time. Okay, attack the knight. Target this guy. Although, again, c2 is hanging the second I leave. Great bishop for them. Okay, fine. Here looks good. If there, maybe there. Okay, I'll support that knight. That bishop's not good. Okay, keep that king out. Don't want you activating, bro. Okay, we'll do that. Our knight's unpinned. Now it's pinned if I go here, but I think I have to stop that idea. Okay, so I'm up a pawn. That's good. Check I run. That's weak. Everything's weak for both sides, it feels like. That's weak. That's weak. They get that. I get that. Both of those are weak. Okay, fine. I'll hang on to mine. Improve. Improve. Active king is important, y'all. Check. Takes here. It's probably looking towards a draw if it wasn't for the clock there. Good game. All right. Okay, so we got g6 as always. I don't know. I forget if we've seen a b3 in the speedrun or not. Usually I just do the hippo on the queen side to start there. Okay, so my guy sees the modern, takes his time, goes with d4. Okay, so we have an Averbach type position. I could have went with a neo-modern there, but I mean, hey, this is a hippo speedrun. Okay. Are they going to go f3? Okay, so this is one of the best possible setups against the hippo in existence, because you're playing an Averbach, but you have e4 defended by a pawn, so it feels very strong. F5 can still be good, I think, but with the knight on e2, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to go a6 because b5 ideas are something to actually think about. Huh. Interesting. Here takes. I tuck. Yeah, I gotta play with some activity right now. So often gambiting a pawn in this kind of position can be one of your best ideas. Okay, I'm looking at c4 now. A2 is defended by their bishop, so I don't have rook flying in like I usually would. Bishop a6, knight b6, queen d7, maybe rook over here. Just start playing aggressively. Bishop c6. Yeah, I'll do that. Takes, push is not good for them. Okay, develop. Defend c6 as well. Probably not a bad idea. Now, castling kingside, I think that is playable. Okay, I'll do f5 because I'm trying to open up this position now, open up this bishop, start chipping away at their structure. Takes. I think taking with the knight is best. Oh, maybe the pawn. Maybe the pawn. There. Or even knight there. Okay, so I'll take with the pawn towards the center so that I have this file. My bishop's looking that direction too. This is active. I got some good activity. Now e6 is vulnerable. Let's just be honest about that. I could centralize. Could go rook g8. That is weak. I mean, this knight's better than this one, so yeah, I'll try to get rid of it. If the rook comes over, I'm tempted to take the bishop. I don't think it's that good because the rook takes and they got two great pieces there. Okay, good move again. Cover in g7. I will... Oh, I was about to tuck. That would be a blunder because c6 and g7 would be hanging. If I go here, they take. That can't be good. King up. If I castle, they take on h6 with their bishop. Okay, so they got rid of my g7 bishop, which wasn't that great, but of course now my dark squares are weaker. There. Okay, keep making improvements. King h7. I'd like to do that, although I am just stepping right into that bishop's line of fire. I could improve my knight. I could also wait on that for just a second. Let me wait on that. No. Okay. Here. Bishop falls. Yeah, bishop falls. Come on. That can't be good. Knight in, though. Rook over? Okay, maybe I just gotta solidify this pawn, guys. Bishop a8. Get that bishop off of that spot. Okay, so I'll run to the corner that way. That tension doesn't matter anymore. Now I could think about this. This still runs into that. Do I do this to start? I'll go d8. I want to get to g5 eventually, but if I go to e7 right away, f5 falls. So I got to go to d8, then look towards knight n, queen g5, and we got good pressure there. That's the vision. That's the vision we're going for. I'm very happy with my bishop's placement. Pretty happy with everything right now besides being down a pawn. I'm not too happy about that, but that's what you sign up for against this Averbach f3 thing when you play b5. If they go g3, okay, they don't. Here looks aggressive. Okay, so we're eyeing up that g2 f3 area. Queen g5 could come into the playbook. Taking could work if they push. I could think about that. I don't know if that works, but definitely worth considering. d6 is very strong. e6 is strong. Okay, might as well improve that guy. Here. Looking at g2. I mean, that knight is a good defender. Good move by them. Okay, I'll go h5. That seems like the natural progression. If I go here with two knights, I don't know. Like, they can take whenever they want. But here, at least I have a knight that's supporting. My queen stays in a good spot. I got to keep an eye on c7. So, yeah, I definitely got to keep an eye on that. Okay, takes. That I could take, right? So the hippo bishop flies in. Now we're at even material. Check works. Let me add the pressure there. That doesn't do much for me. I can do that whenever, so. And now it's mate. All right. Here we go. Okay, I almost did b3, but it's too early because the bishop's already there. So I gotta finish this out and then go b3 once my rook can actually move. Okay, so now if you attack it, I run away, I'm fine. Gosh, I don't know. That's just so questionable to me, that bishop e6 move. I saw that earlier on in the speedrun. a4 because a3 doesn't do anything. Yes, that's weak. So is this. So I could look at that. Castling looks fine. Let me just do that. Okay, tuck the king. There's nothing looking at my king either, so that's always a plus. Check. We take. Our bishop's defended. Okay, we'll take that guy off. So now you got an isolated pawn. Of course, they have a lot of momentum on the queen side right now. g4, gosh, they just have so many sacks. I don't know. If I go there, d5 is vulnerable, making e3 vulnerable. I'm going to go e4 to start, to just put an end to all that stuff. And then maybe I think about f4. Yeah. Because I don't really want that knight becoming a pesty knight there. Okay, so they're going back. Maybe looking at that square, I don't know. But honestly, I'm doing my own thing here. f4 now. If they go there, the bishop's trapped. If they jump in, I win a pawn. That's not good for them. Maybe there? Because that traps the bishop. Maybe there? I could take. I could also just wait for them to take me. Here we go again with taking space slowly. I'm still concerned about sacks, though. I am. Okay. So sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I am. I probably got to consolidate a little bit more. That bishop is not very comfortable. I could look to... Okay, so of course right when I say that, the bishop improves. d5 is vulnerable, but there is a knight there. If I take and then go there, the knight hangs. Do I improve? I mean, improving is very rarely bad. Interesting. Okay, a4 is the idea. But if you do that, I just play knight c3. So I'm not worried about that. Do I kick? Oh, you are looking at my king too. Okay, I'll give you some props for that. Okay, I'll improve the queen. There's nothing concrete here. Now, I think that move walks into this. Takes. I get discoveries. Again, yeah, so they don't do that. Makes sense. I'm up the exchange, down a pawn. Takes, that pawn's vulnerable, and that's a hole and all that fun stuff. I could take here first and then go rook in. There, rook in. I like my bishop though. But that's not fun either. That's not fun. Okay, you know what? I'll take the knight. I'll take the pawn. We're up the exchange. We do have some weaknesses, and they have the bishop pair. That bishop's a monster. So they definitely have some compensation. I'm guessing the engine has us at like better, but it's just a tough position to play. I think for both sides. It's tough for us because we got weaknesses. It's tough for them because they're down material. I'd rather be white though. I'd rather be white. Now if I could do that and just force some trades here. Probably a little early though. Could I improve my rook? I could. I could do that. I'll do this. Sometimes the best defense is an attack, so I will say f5 weakens e5 tremendously. Maybe that or something. Start getting my king involved in this attack. Takes. Okay. Well, actually, no, that's fine. I mean, they're trying to create some weaknesses here. That makes sense. Okay, good move. So c4 is weak. It is pinned. Do we kick? Or something? I don't know. Rook over. I'll start with this. Maybe rook f2 next. Assuming they take with their bishop. Could take with the queen as well. Okay, we're still at the exchange. These rooks are on the same diagonal, something to keep an eye on. e5 is becoming more and more available in my mind. Because we got enough defenders on it. No. That covers f7 well. Knight d4? They pin me though. Knight g5? They pin me though. Okay, I guess we're doing that. Just getting off of that line of fire. Looking at this. Here. Oh, that's decent too, I think. Here. Here. Knight d5. Knight d4. I think we're going to have to try. Very strong play for my opponent. e6. c3 maybe? If the rook goes over. Okay, this is one of those positions, well, maybe not this one, but earlier on it's like one of those games where in a classical game you're probably okay, but blitz it's a little bit harder. I gotta get some counterplay going, guys. Takes. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, now my knight's hanging, great. I'll save it. Re-look at that. That also opens up against their knight. So if here I just take, hopefully they go rook f8. I doubt it, but if they push, I take. That looks fine. I actually don't think their queen can move anywhere and put pressure on e5, which is good because I only have one defender on it right now. And even if you do take it, I run. That's fine. How do they guard this? That doesn't work. I take, and then take, and then there's a pin. No checks there. We got 2 rooks on it, not 1. Okay, so they're going for counterplay. Okay, we'll do that. We'll run. Looking at the king. What a crazy game, guys. Rook check is fine for me. I don't think they have any good checks. Okay, I'll go check. 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 Takes. Check. Check. Rook back. Oof, good game. Alright, here we go. Okay, so d5. Okay, solid structure. Fianchetto, interesting. It's like, are they trying to fianchetto and look at f4 stuff? So I could do this. I am not in love with that idea though. So I'm gonna go c4 just in case they push the f pawn. I have my bishop there. They don't. So now I can leave. I think we're fine. Because your f pawn's not gonna get there. I mean, you can move the knight, but that takes a while. I could add pressure, but I'll just go with the regular hippo now. Again, I'm not worried about this anymore. If you run, I have time to take and think about counterplay, slowing that down. Okay, finish out the hippo, play patient, Solomon. Finish that hippo. Takes looks good. That also gives me a good bishop. Now that is interesting because that's weakened, but I can't get g5 in time. Although I guess if I push, they can't take, their bishop hangs. Okay, I'll do that. Tuck the knight. h4 is a possibility now because you only have one piece looking at this. This bishop is gone, so that's all good. Okay, I'll reinitiate that threat. You only got 2 defenders for that pawn. That's the weakness. When you look at these 3 pawns, this pawn is in the middle, so that's the weak one. Can't be defended by the pawns on the side, whereas these guys can get support. Takes looks tempting. Takes looks tempting. I think this looks tempting too, but here, 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 here. Yeah, the rook falls on h1. Okay. But I could just wait till the pawn's there. But g3 is so weak. Do I kick? Takes. No. Kick. If here, I have here. Okay. Kick, takes, they run. Let's start with that. We'll start with that to break open the H file. Maybe at that point I have queen g4 stuff too. I mean, my bishop is pretty good. Queen up. They could take. I add pressure. If you take with the knight, it's checkmate. If you take with the queen, I could take the queen or even do that technically. If you take my queen, game over. So you can't take g5 because our hippo bishop is too strong. Maybe they got to try to trade it off. That might be what they got to do because this piece is too strong. If they do trade it off, like part of me wants to take the knight and then, you know, but I don't think that's very good. I could go d4. You know, I could also just slide my queen and threaten mate. Right? Can I take that, guys? If they take, it's over. I'm threatening mate. Huh, I'm threatening mate. If they block, I take. I think it works. If they go there, maybe that could work. Maybe that could work. Huh. It's a very, very wild game. Yeah, bishop e5. Okay, so if I run with my queen, they just take. It's even material. I'm down a piece. Eek. Here, here. Yeah, here, here. Castle? I don't know. King up. Check. Eek. That may have been a mistake. Queen over. It's so close to being good, but takes. Push. The queen's just too powerful there. Okay, I guess I'll do that. I'm going down a piece though. Oh, maybe this works. If you take my rook, 1, 2. So I'm threatening a mate in 2 now. One, two. Takes, push, same thing. You can't get there with the queen without losing it. I actually might be winning. Huh. Crazy. The hippo is not passive, y'all. It's really not. It depends on the setup you play against in terms of how fast of an attacking game you can get, but you can get kingside attacking chess quickly all the time. Yeah, I don't know how they stop that. I mean, okay, interesting. Check, no. So I take the queen to start, right? That's all I got. Now it's even material. What a trip. Okay. Attack the bishop. Try to get that rook involved. Check. think that's a good move for them. I have 2 mate and 1 threats. If you go there, it's over. If you go there, it's over. There, it's over. You don't have any checks against me. Yeah, so I think it's a mate and 1. Yeah, let's take a look at that. See what happened there. So yeah, so their knight c3 is good too. That makes sense as well, because you got that big old weakness. They can't take or push. g4 was good though. That was good. That was good. That was good. We're about, well, we were plus 0.2 right now. Now it's plus 4. Okay, that was a mistake. Knight f5. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful move. Whew. Mate, what a trip. Okay, I did queen g4. I'm still better, but not winning. But that was a blunder. They got to go bishop e5, yeah. Okay, the best thing I could do is take. It makes sense. If you take here, I still have that. I mean, great attacking game. Still better, about plus 2-ish. Okay. That's my only move, yeah. Anything else blocks better. Okay, it's like 1.4 right now. So not a perfect game, but a very fun one. That was awesome. That was fun. Yeah, any structures that don't take the full center, or they're a little lackadaisical of covering g6 if you're black or g3 if you're white, that can give you quick kingside play. So if you're playing against the hippo, you probably want to, with your bishop, keep an eye on one of those squares. But it's just hard. I mean, if you've never seen the hippo before, how do you know? Okay, well, this guy loves to move pawns. Okay, kick that bishop. The knight is in front of the f-pawn. I could have castled there, but I'll just continue with this idea. I mean, if you want to create a battery ram, I'm going to be able to put pressure on e4, and you're not going to be able to defend it without queen c2. So I'm okay with this. Again, I go here, you push, or you go defend it with your queen. If the knight goes to c2, then I attack it. You're going to have to push. That's all you got. Right? I don't really see anything else. Some players try to get fancy with d5 there, but I don't think that's very good. Now, taking, if the knight is on d7, I would take. But here, if I take, they take my knight, not my pawn, and I'm losing. I typically go knight d5. I am looking at this. It just looks so active. But the knight is a little bit islandy there. So I'll just go with my regular. That bishop's trapped. Okay, calmly take back with the pawn. Now we got a 2-on-1 in the center. These squares are ours. We got 5 connected pawns. f5 can be good. g5, castling kingside. Now that knight on f3 is by itself, but I can't really do much about that right now. Here, castle. That looks fine. I got to take and then castle, because if I castle right away, I lose h6. Okay, but now you only got one attacker on it. Here, now. I'll go h8, just to stay off of this and stay off of this. Okay, takes, here, takes, nothing. Here, takes. Do I like that? I don't mind it. I do have an isolated pawn, but it's solid. I got a good bishop out of it. I could also just defend with my queen. I could just do that. Takes, queen up. That's a good knight, though. All right, let's create some complications here. If they take, we have 2 bishops versus 2 knights. I usually like knights more, but if I got 2 bishops versus 2 knights, I'll take the bishops because you can't hide your pawns anywhere. So they're not going for that wisely. Now if I push and take, then a whole different game because my bishop's atrocious. So now we take? D5, that's weakened, no thanks. Here. No. I'll go with the regular. I like the idea of if they push being able to go knight h4, but I don't want that queen flying in there. So if they do push, I do have that as an option. I don't really know what it does, but it's there. If they kick my knight, I'll probably just drop back. Now they want to trade. I don't really want to trade though. I like my knight, but yeah. If I run, I guess. No, f4. Okay, f5. I mean, I was worried about this, but f5 looks good. Maybe I centralize and then go f5, and there's no check. I think I'm okay taking space there. They're trying to get that in, I think. Okay, I'll take a little space. It is weakening to that, but your knights aren't really able to get there right now. Maybe that route, but I'm going to have time to put my rook here, maybe tuck and push, and we're back into our attacking chess. I don't think, even though it's not check, I don't think that's good for me. The queen runs, we improve. That's cut off. Our king is in a good spot. You move this knight, that's an option. And if you go here looking at that, then knight f4, I don't want you going there. That also defends e6. Also gets in the way of this pawn, but I'm a little bit pessimistic cautious of pushing it anyway because of this diagonal. This pawn, on the other hand, that is something that I am thinking about. Okay, I'll drop my queen. I'm looking at g4 and activating fast. Maybe here and here. I don't know. Honestly, bro, if you want that pawn, you can have it. Like, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. You can have it. I don't give up a pawn often, but I like the presence that we have right now. So now I got to play crazy, attack, complicate. They got to hang on. If they hang on and they're up a pawn in the end game, I can be in trouble. A big question is, which pawn do I take back with? There's benefits to both. There's benefits to both. I think I'll take with the f pawn, just because I'm already looking at f2. Okay, just improving the queen. It's not really threatening anything, but that's okay. Knight f4. Okay, attack the queen. See where she decides to go. Okay, and now I've got my bishop looking at her, towards her. My queen is in the way though, so I might have to move her at some point. h4 could be good. Okay, I'll do that. Oh wait, no. I'll do this so that this is defended and this is defended. Check is the threat. Where can the queen even move? Actually, the queen can't move. Huh, maybe they move the king, but taking looks pretty dangerous. Or I kick the knight and then go knight h3. That could work too. Okay, I mean, check looks good. If they take, I think I'd go check again. Why not? Take that guy. Feels like it should have mate, but I don't think. Check. I mean, no reason to play risky here. Just save my rook. I don't want to help that knight improve, so maybe h3. Attack the rook. Okay, see where that guy wants to go. What now? What now? What now? I don't like that knight. I gotta break it open. I have a queen, they don't. Break it open, man. Okay, well there goes my material advantage, but it is an open game, which is great. I got 3 connected passed pawns. The knight can't really move. I might want to go f3 before g3 because of that. That is close to promotion, so got to keep an eye on that guy. If rook over, threaten f2. If here, check, check, we're winning. If here, check is also good. Okay, well I'll go g3 then because f3 is covered. Go back, I don't want to get checked. Iron up h2. Check. 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 This is hard. Yeah, that was a messy finish, but yeah, I felt like I played pretty well overall, but definitely a messy finish there. Got it done though. All right. Okay, we're up. What's our guy gonna do now? Okay, d5. Okay. I'm getting the sense this guy's aggressive. I don't know why, but that's just how I feel. That's interesting. I'll continue with my hippo. Okay, keep that bishop out because I don't feel like getting pinned. Okay, tuck the knight. If I go here and here, that's fine. I could do either one first. Okay, so the bishop checks me. I already have c3 covered. That's good. Now I kick the bishop back. You can't go in. Okay, we're looking at that. There's a bishop stack, which points to that pawn being a super big weakness. Or target, whatever you want to call it. Knight f3 is usually a good option here. f4 can be good too. I'm going to go knight f3. I could go g4 there, but there's so much pressure, it's going to be a little bit hard to pull off h4 at some point. So I will see if they want to give me their bishop. I'm guessing they don't. They don't. We could improve. We could go c4. Castling looks fine. Let me castle. Yeah. I mean, that's weak, but there's really no way to... I mean, I could go c4. I thought about that. I run back. If here, I do one of those. Here, it's starting to become more of a possibility. Here, I run. Take, knight. I don't like it. I don't hate it though. Okay, slow hippo, good hippo. I always got to remind myself, like, when I play knight f3, one of the benefits is that I have a queen move available there. Okay, now I get this with tempo. They run, I tuck, they push. I go here. That's playable too. That's playable. Maybe I improve my rook. They're not giving me anything super concrete, so I'm just going to keep adding that tension for when it does break open. Wow. Now that is something you don't see every day. What the heck is that move doing? I guess they're going to rook lift. Here. Okay, it feels better to me now because I have all this pressure on the D file. Taking is okay. Yeah, taking's fine. Knight there. Nope, not doing that. Here, one of those. This feels more natural. Yeah, that is weak though. Queen C3. You can't push. D5 feels a little bit vulnerable too. Kind of, maybe not. B4, no. Knight C1 would really solidify my position. On second thought, maybe Queen E1 is better. Because then at least I have Knight C1. I mean, if I'm going to go here and then move the queen anyway, I might as well just do this, right? Although, if I go here, 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 yeah, I don't like that. Okay, I guess I'm going back. This is a draw, I think. They don't want the draw. Queen D7 takes. Doesn't look right. H3 is obviously weak. Okay, fine. I'll kick you somewhere. They go back. Tuck. Tuck the knight. I mean, that's not fun. That hasn't been fun. At all. This looks okay. If you kick me, I relocate. That's okay. Actually, I'm sorry. If they kick me, I win. F6. I already forgot about that. Okay, now, in these kind of positions, this is actually what we want. I think that move may have made it a little bit easier because there's not as much vision on that square. Now, of course, they got all that going for them. Okay, well, I'll start with that. So we got a good knight. If you kick us, we take. Drop the queen. We're down a pawn. We do have some counterplay, which is good. Okay, take with the knight. I don't know if that's good for them. I mean, that was your good bishop. Okay, I guess that one's good now, but I don't know. Here, maybe. That threatens takes and takes. Do you save your rook? Maybe you save your rook. Okay, they save it. We really go after that bishop on d6. We're threatening that. They jump in. Takes, takes. Takes, takes. I'm down a piece, but that bishop is pinned, although my rook just dropped. Oops. Here, I do have attacking chess. I don't know if it's enough or not. Takes, takes. They don't go for that. They go for that. Okay. I'll take there. I'll go check, see what they do. Let's see what they do with that. Okay, yeah, this is looking rough. Let's take a look at this one once the game wraps up. Okay. Check. Trying to see if I have something. I don't think so. Check. 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 Here. Check. Here. Yeah, they made me now. Well played. Well played, brother. Nice. Okay, let's take a look at that one. That was interesting. Okay, so I'm totally fine here. That was good. That was fine. Yeah, C4. Should probably play that a little sooner. But this was all okay. Where did things go wrong? That move. Yeah. Okay, so that was my first mistake. That just gave the knight too much activity. I gotta take this way. And if here... And it's a little messy, but I could go here. I could also take and then do that. And we're probably trading down. Okay. Let's see what we get here. Alright, so put the pawn up. Fianchetto. So it's probably going to be an Averbach. We'll see. Look to tuck the knight next. Go for all this. No a6 probably. Usually f5 is what we're going to do. Alright, I'll just throw h6 in there. Why not? Now, they can go queenside or kingside. In over-the-board chess, I've never seen queenside with an Averbach. I've been seeing it more online lately, as we've been seeing. But yeah, usually this is the usual approach. Okay, queen d2. That makes e4 a little bit vulnerable. That also prevents me from castling. Also, what the heck? My bad, guys. I'm not trying to print anything right now. All right, e5. That's a good move, because that. Okay, I'll threaten a trap of the bishop. Look to take with the pawn. If you move the queen... Yeah, I'll trap the bishop. You go there. Takes. I could also go bishop back as well. Right? That looks okay. Because the bishop's still trapped. If you get two pieces for the pawn, I take your knight. Okay, I'm doing that because I don't want to get pinned. With a queen on d7. No thanks. I could take now. I don't have to. Really no reason not to, though. I want to do that, but... I want to castle. So, if I go here... Yeah, that could be bad, because if I go there, it's check. Yeah, I think I got a castle. Get my king over while I have the ability to. Now that could be worth considering. Of course, g5 gets weakened. Maybe that's a little messy. Okay, the bishop improves. Good move. here. I mean, they're leaving their king side a little bit bare. It's also a 2-on-2. So I'm not really sensing any crazy attacking chess for them. At the same time, it's a 2-on-2 for me. H5? G4? I don't know. G4? Start taking that space. Takes. Something like that. Yeah, I'll take with the bishop. Because I like where my queen is. And I don't want them getting tempo on my queen either. Although, yeah, queen h4. Ooh, do I go g3 first? If I go here, they do that. That's pretty good defense. Okay, so I'll do this first. Just to try to create a weakness, a target. Okay, then add the pressure. C7 is terribly weak, by the way. Going back doesn't work. Okay, well, I don't really have a choice. I think I just got to go all out on this attack, play fast. See if we can make something happen. Sure. Down a pawn. Great rook. I do have bishop h6, potentially. Okay, I'll drop back there. h4 is still playable. Bishop h6. e3 is weak. My weakest pawn is a7, I believe. Bishop c8. I can't really give... I mean, I could do that, but that doesn't really do anything. h4. Bishop h6, maybe? You know what I do? You know what I'll do? Maybe I go here... attack the rook, and then I'll go bishop h6. Rook f7. Bishop improves. Doesn't work. Okay, I'll look towards that area. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I love my position. I will say there are possibilities. Even if queens come off, it's still going to be a little bit difficult for white. And honestly, I could start trying to push my a-pawn. Okay, maybe I do hate my position now. That was a good move. Here. I gotta take with the rook at the end of all that. Take with the rook, a5. I think this might be our play. Okay, keep pushing. E3 is weakened. If you go there, your rook isn't going to be able to help out. I should probably play with a little bit of patience here. Takes, check. Yeah, I don't like check, obviously. Okay, so let's just stop that. Of course, that's available. Huh, they're going for d6, okay. Takes, no. Here. Why not? Throw that in real quick. Stop that. Check. Okay, queen goes there. We go defend this guy. This pawn's feeling more by itself. This is weak, but they don't want me to promote. Okay. Do I have time? I mean, right now I can. There's no distracting ideas. Here, no. Okay, I'll go there. Take this guy. I'm down a piece. Yeah, down a piece. E3 still weak. Okay. E3's weak as always. G3's weak now. Okay. E3 may fall. I mean, I want to remove the knight. That would be ideal. Okay, remove the knight. Take this guy. I was thinking they'd check. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Ran out of time there, guys. Okay, well, hey, we're going to hit 23. We just got to keep pushing here. Okay. Here we go. We got a rematch. That's good. All right, let's kick it back into gear. All right, fiend cut of the bishop. Got to play faster this game. Pawn up. Okay, looks like we're going for the same kind of thing. They might just do the same setup. I don't know. Okay, that's fine with me. A3 next. Okay, B3. If they push, I push. If they go C5, I have A4. Fiend cut of the bishop. Okay. G4 ideas. H5 is probably what we'll see. No. Knight C5. Okay. Well, if I take, they take. That's not good. Not good at all. Castle? Here. Yeah. Well, maybe that would have been not the end of the world, actually. I don't know. I mean, it's check, but then maybe the knight gets trapped. I could kick the bishop. Let me start with that. See what they do with that. They could sack. They could go here. Now, if they go there, I do have the opportunity of kicking and taking, but then they get check. Yeah, I'm okay, man. I'm all right. Thanks, though. If here, takes, that's fine. No, that's fine. Here. They run, though. A little bit wobbly. Here. I could go for that idea. Okay, so this file does open up, guys, but we do have some sack and then taking d5 opportunities. I could also take with the pawn. Take with the pawn. Nah. I'll take with the knight. So if they take on e3, takes, boom. Queen e7. Looking directly at that. Here looks good. Okay, they could go check. I run, and then that kind of thing. Do I do this? No. Bishop takes. I may have missed that. Bishop takes is actually really strong. Takes. I'll go here. Defend my knight. That's a threat? That's a threat. They push. Does that do anything now? Not really. This... Okay, so what do I do? Take. No. Here? That might be my best option. That might be the best. Here. I'm not a singer, guys. Here. Okay, I mean, I feel like I got to start with that, right? Because that's not good. Okay, I could attack again. Let's do that. I have some pin ideas at the very least. Okay, so that's threatened. If there, do I attack it again? That could be good. Queen F1. How do they say? I don't think they can save it. Yeah, so now we get our material back. We will take a look at that afterwards and see if all that was sound or not. They got their pawn, but then they kind of got themselves into a very awkward spot. So now they're down a piece for a pawn. No. Here? It's fine. This feels... Ooh, never mind. Okay, bishop d2. That has to be principled. Come on. Because then I'm covering all this. It's a little bit more vulnerable. Okay, you got a pin. Maybe knight e5 next. I mean, I have a bishop defending e1, so I'm feeling okay there. Takes. That looks fine. Takes even material, but that is hanging. And ultimately, I think that's my biggest threat. They go with... I think taking's totally fine. I mean... Okay, so they go that way. That's much better, but I still take... Your rook's hanging, but if they take check is the best. Right now we can... That's not quite mate. It is perpetual, though. Maybe rook f5. I don't know. Anyway, check the king. Okay. And I think it's over. I mean, you could check me there. c1 doesn't work. Pinned. And the game's wrapping up here quickly. Yeah, so 1, 2. Okay. All right, let's take a look at that. That was interesting. So move 10. Okay, good move on my part. Good move, good move. That's fine. So right now, ooh, okay. So it was all fine till here. I guess now I got to do this. And now if they take, this is a lot more calm. Yeah, just trading down. So they were winning, minus 2.3. They push. Yeah, knight e6 is more sound, apparently. Minus 1 still. That was a blunder, though. Yeah, g5 is much stronger, right? Because, sure, I can get a pawn back, and we're at even material, but then at least you're not pinned. When you go to f6, there is a pin there. We attack again, and we just get our piece back. So that was their big blunder there. Okay. We got the black pieces against d4 now. Okay, fianchetto quickly there. Okay, are we going to see a London? Yes. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Okay. b6. Fianchetto. Alright, a6 there. Slow that down. Okay, so we'll see what they do. That would be good. That would be good. That move is a little bit questionable to me. You don't want to give me too much space too fast on the king side. And I have a great bishop. Okay, I tuck so that I can actually think about this. We'll do that. Here, here, here. Okay, I mean, I could play it slowly. The bishop does cover h4, so I can't just push, push, take, take, and then boom, right? So we'll play it a little bit slowly. Castling queenside could be good. This could be one of those games where I give up 2 pawns for 1 and then I just go crazy here. If you push, I push. Beautiful position for us. Great. Awesome. I mean, even 2200s are giving us this position. So I think black, I mean, if I don't mess it up, I think black's basically winning now. I'm going to start with this move, play patient chess. I think I'm going to start with that. Am I worried about this? I guess I could do that first, but... Okay, I'll start with this. If you attack my pawn, I just kick your queen back somewhere else. Now there, c7 is weak. Okay, do I go knight c5? That looks fine. That looks fine. Taking my time here, and then at the right moment we can play knight f4, which is good. We could play g4, which is good. Here takes, takes. Can they go e5? Kinda. They kinda can. But if I do this first, let me kick that knight first. Take, take. And then maybe knight f4. And now if you take, take, push, bishop takes, we're fine. Okay, so we have a good h-file. Knight b7. Kind of an ugly knight, not gonna lie. Check. Takes, takes. I mean, I still like it, but that bishop is a really, really good defender for them. Here. Takes, takes. Here, check. I run. I'll do that. I'll do that. We'll see what they can come up with. I mean, it's still a 2-on-2. I'll run to f8, that way knight d8 can be played. I got to move my rook first. So yeah, I got to move my rook to a7 or b8. Okay, I move it. Now this is possible. The queen's still so active there, though. If I go here, that threatens a trap, but they just take it. This, It like it feels close to a trap, like a trapping position. Here, here, here. Is that a trap? That looks like a trap to me. I could do this as well. Is there one that's better? Oh, you know what? I guess the queen... They have that move. Yeah, good move. If I take here, they could push. If I take here, they could do that. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll do that then. Might as well take it. Not much else I can do. I mean, their queen... I was about to say their queen can't move, but it definitely can. Do I improve? I'll improve. I wouldn't say it's over for white. Like, they still have to play pretty well. But yeah, I definitely miscalculated that. Because they had that little in between takes. Do I want to take it? Not really. We'll go there. Takes, check doesn't work. Check could work. Check, takes. Queen in, maybe. Trying to get busy on that H file. C7's obviously very weak. That doesn't do anything. That almost does something, but not quite. Okay, so they're doing that. Here? No. That could work, actually. Okay, so I'm eyeing up the queen now that way. That's a good change for me, I think. I mean, if you check, I take, right? Okay, now the queen runs. I improve. The queen. I mean, that's pretty dangerous. If the king runs, it's mate. Takes. No. Here. How do they stop that? Here? No. Okay. Yeah, guys, I miscalculated that earlier on. I mean, this was fine. So it's not technically winning, but it's just such a strong position. Yeah, I gotta play g4 a little sooner. But this was all okay. Where did I mess up? Yeah, too early. Too rushed. Take your time, bro. That's a good move. Yeah, do that, dude. Let's say they defend it. Yeah, just take your time a little bit more with it. In some kind of way. Alright, y'all, look. I just filmed a game and my OBS went crazy, so it didn't record the game. So let me just show it to you real quick. A very just standard setup for a King's Indian. I ended up taking some space there. The reason I played c4 was that so that I could cover these squares, because you only got one pawn defending them. If you push this, I want to be able to target those directly. And ultimately, they're giving me the space. I'll take it. I tuck the queen, I castle. I'm just trying to play slow here, take a little bit more space. And then here, take with the pawn because there's a pawn next to it. Now here I decided to hang on to the bishops. The engine likes it. Yeah, the engine's fine with it. Not the best move, apparently. This is better. This is good. This is good. But, okay, I did that. And of course, this is my biggest weakness. This is their biggest weakness on d5. So I throw myself in there, bring my queen up. the threat there was to take the knight. I improve. I keep adding the pressure. That would not work because it takes and the queen's defended. Now I am threatening it. They throw in, takes, f4, take with the c pawn there. If I take with the e pawn, yeah, that's rough. So I take with the c pawn, and now I'm looking towards this idea. So I do push with e5. And if they didn't take there, like let's say h6 or something, guys, this is just too much. Too strong. Great bishop. He ended up running, or sorry, taking. But now it's like a matter of trading down. I guess this is good. That's a good move, yeah. I think I did that soon. Takes, then I did it. Activate, push, and this game wrapped up pretty quickly. Not perfect. Like right here, for example, I had 1 and then 2, but I played this and then he ran out the clock. Okay. Here we go. So d4. Okay, solid setup. Of course, we're inviting e4 there. Okay, I'll go b6. Just keep developing. Tuck the knight. Okay, I'm okay now with... Actually, I'll play this first. I was going to play g5, but I'll wait a second. Okay, now I'll play g5 so I can get e6 in. They're castled as well, so h4 is a little bit less concerning. I'd like to tuck my knight, but obviously there is a bishop there. Now I could take and then push. I like that idea. Or even just tuck. Can I tuck this knight? I can do f5 later on. f5, queen e7, castle, maybe. Just keep taking that space slowly here. Yeah. Okay. I think you gotta go back. Yeah, go back. We castle. We have this as a possibility now. Now, they're probably looking towards e4, push, push, boom. If I go queen e8, that defends the knight. So e4 now is slowed down. c5 can't do that as much as I want to. Queen f7 looks good though. Okay, so just tucking my queen on that spot. Maybe look at rook e8 and then e5. Or just e5. But the only concern I have with this move is queen a4. Kind of jumping into the mix. That's weakened. If I kick and take, that's solid. Although, then the e-file breaks open. So you know what? I'll do this. If you really want to go get that pawn, I think I have compensation. Still can't do that. Could do this. Here, yeah. Because we got so much supporting that. My goodness. I mean, we're going to be okay when it comes to e5. Do I want to take with the pawn or something else? Here. If I take with the pawn, that is an idea. And I'm attacking, so I want to keep material on the board. I push, they run. I push, takes is good. I mean, they probably want to go c5. I kind of want to push. Just slow that down, right? And lock in that c4 spot. This also preps e4 a little bit because now knight d4 cannot be played. If they take... Oh gosh. It's going to be hard to say no to the knight, but part of me would take with the pawn to keep that square under lock. We push again. This is looking pretty aggressive. Because again, that's taken away. We have a great bishop now. If you want to go here and give up 2 pieces for the rook, that's great with me. Knight runs f4, they run. Just keep adding the pressure. Or I offer a trade. No, I don't want to do that. This bishop's too strong. I push, they push. H3 is weak. Although I guess I could just keep taking all day there. I could do that. Bishop e5 is improving. A6 will drop. I don't really want to go babysit that guy. What can I play to just add the pressure, add the tension here? Maybe we go h5. Looking at g4. They're probably thinking about a queen trade of some sort. Although I guess rook e6. E4 though. So that's a possibility for them. Yeah, it's hard to say. Nothing concrete, but just trying to take a little space at a time. If I could break open the G file, that would be nice. The more I could break it open, the better. Knight h4, if they run some mating net ideas. Yeah, so there I can continue to push. You can't lock it up. Okay, so now we got an open H file. And your king has less protection than mine does. Push, push. The bishop's terrible, but then the king's kind of safe. Kind of? I don't know. I mean, that's a tall ask for white to help that bishop out. But it's going to take me some time to get active. Maybe rook e5. Start looking at that guy. Yeah, I could go rook up. Okay, so I'm looking to activate on that H file now. Even f3 could be good. Okay, so the queen activates here. Well, that's threatened. So how do I slow that down here or here? We'll go here. That way my queen can eye up h4. I mean, 1-2, this game's over at that point. But can they slow that down is the question. They got 2 attackers on e4, so let's say the rook activates. Maybe I got to kick their queen and then do this. That way the queen's not looking at that. Although I suppose they just go to c6. Okay, taking. I can't take with the knight. I could take with the pawn. I'll do that to keep this knight neutralized. Takes. Do I finish off with a knight there? Maybe. It's hard to say. Okay, let's finish with the rook. That way that's defended. I still have this idea. I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm over, they push. What do we have there? They take. Yeah. Okay, I'll go with that route. Push there. Takes. I don't know. I mean, the king is uncomfortable, but I don't know. Okay, I like that move. That puts pressure on the knight, and it's looking directly towards the king. I don't think they'll take. Okay. Sure. If you check me, I block with the rook. And then I have h1 ideas. So you probably got to go to c6 or something. Okay. Keep checking that king. All right. Okay. Win this, and we are done with this speed run here. This could be the last game. We'll see. Okay, so a solid setup thus far. Looks like they're going for a pin, maybe? Okay, I don't know what that queen's doing there. I'll just keep doing my thing. That could work. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, tuck the knight. Now, if they go bishop d6, this is interesting because you can go knight f1 and then support that knight. You could also go f4 and just take your space. I think either is pretty playable, honestly. I'll go f4. Yeah, I'll take that space. Now, if e5, I'm not really the biggest fan of pushing there because of e4, I'd probably have to castle and just support that guy. Although here, h4, yep, here we go again. So we're attacking the king side very aggressively. Our bishop's active. g5 is what we're eyeing up. Thankfully for them, their bishop is on g6, not h7, which is kind of pointless there. At least this bishop covers h5 from our queen. I could either push or push and then... Now here, push, my knight's hanging, yeah. Not the biggest fan of that, all in all. I could castle. And then keep going. Push. I support. I don't mind that here. I think I have the time. I have the time to do this. My bishop's already fianchettoed. They don't have a queen on c7. That's a big deal. Right? If they do attack it, I rook lift. So so that queen c8 move may have hurt them a little bit in terms of their ability to slowly attack down. If they run, push, break it open, the knight runs, queen flies in. That looks pretty strong. And of course our bishop is just brutal. Okay, so they go for that. So takes, they're not going to take or else it's over. Takes, they push. That's playable. Maybe queen up? Or do we go pawn up? Pawn up, queen up, they defend. I like our position. It's just a matter of finishing this out the right way. I could also take. I could. It's a little less aggressive than I'd like. It's hard to argue with this for the first move. I could go queen h5 as well. And then take. But then they just push. I could go here with that in mind. Maybe let's do that. I mean, you can't push g6, right? That's not gonna help you. That's not gonna help. If here, maybe I castle. I don't really want to lock my bishop in, and then they have a great bishop that's defending everything, and mine's just kind of stuck. I also don't necessarily want to take and give them that activity right away, so it could be worth just castling. Yeah. Castle. See what they do. Taking here does not help them at all. In fact, actually, rook takes g3 is nasty. That's what I'd have to do. Yeah. A rook on g3 is very, very dangerous. Because I take, they push, and I could even think about sacking. That almost makes d4 a little more tempting, because they could take. But they could go back, and then... Yeah, I don't know. My bishop's kind of stuck. The rook's unable to get over right now. We could see knight e5 or something like that. I don't know. I haven't even mentioned that, because takes, and it's over, guys. The h file is completely ours. You move the bishop, queen h8. You defend it with a knight we take. Okay, so now we're in this line. We'll capture that guy. If check, I think I got to block so that they don't have time to do this. I might be fine there anyway, but I don't know. But, okay, check, I block. This is a threat. This is a threat. Okay, so they slow that down. So we go in. Push and takes is looking good to me. You could check. Okay, they don't check. That surprises me. I was thinking maybe they try to trade, but I guess what's the point if you're going to be down material anyway? Knight in, maybe? Yeah, knight in. Okay, I'll block that. So your king is getting more and more cramped by the minute. I'm a little bit concerned about that. So maybe I go knight f4. That way, if you go here, I take. If you take, I go intermediate check, and then I'm okay. So if you go here, I take. If not, maybe I think about this. I don't know. Queen g7 is also a possibility. Yep. In which case, I think we're going to run out. Right? Run out. Get out of there and then keep pushing. Keep attacking. Or maybe even throw that knight into the mix. I kind of like that idea too. Way ahead in terms of the attacking chess. I mean, you could try to attack my king, but I don't... Yeah, I just think black's too far behind. If I really want to play safe there, I could play c3 as well. Okay, yeah, sure. We'll... Might as well get out of there. We're going to do it anyway at some point. If I take, they take. I got two passed pawns that are connected. I like that. Okay, I'm looking at g6. If you take, there's a pin. That threatens to win material. That does threaten f3 if they push. So if they go f4, I might have to take that guy. Here, yeah. Okay. We'll go with that. Okay, improve the knight. That's definitely a possibility. Continuing to push. No, I'll go there. Takes. Sure. Because then my bishop supports that threat on the queen. And if you run with the queen, then that's pretty nasty. If you attack my bishop, I push anyway. Bishop for queen, I'm okay with that. I think that's going to be fine. Okay, now that I have to respond to because my queen is threatened. Maybe I just, yeah, I could go f2. I'm gonna go f2. Yeah, that way the pawn is blocked because I don't want that pawn to keep pushing and make me trade a bunch of stuff. So the queen gets in the way. We can do that. Yeah, there's not much time on the clock, so I'm gonna do this. Check and just play active. Yep. Okay. Okay. Keep defending the rook. Defend the bishop. There we go. Okay, guys, we did it. Let me go back to around here. Let's go back to, let's see, around here. Yeah. Okay, so here, white's better. Not winning. It's like +1-ish. That was fine. Yeah, one's taking. I could see that. I mean, this is just a really hard position for black to hold with all the activity we have, but I like keeping the queens there. I guess that was a little bit iffy. That keeps things solid. Okay, and that there I messed up, so that was bad. I guess I could... Maybe there? No, that could work. I kind of like this move that it's pointing out as an option, because then my queen could end up activating. But yeah, this is all fine. This is, right now, this is +2 once they play that move. Blunder. Yeah, I could just take. Check. What the heck? Check. Yeah, it's just too open. The king side's too open, so not a perfect game, but the hippo got us a good attack there, a nice aggressive attacking game, and yeah. Again, guys, thank you guys so much for your support on this speedrun. I enjoyed it a ton, and yeah, let me know if you'd want to see a hippo slow run, in which case I'm playing rapid chess from 300 to I don't know what yet, 2300, 2000, I don't know. Let me know what you'd want to see. It'd be a lot less frequent in terms of posting than this series was. But I don't know. Let me know what kind of frequency you guys would like. Would you like every week? Would you like 2 a week? I don't want to spread it out too much for the viewers, but I also, you know, I don't want to go daily again. And I think it was fun. I mean, that's what I was planning on. We did it. We got through nearly every day. We dropped an episode, but I think with the slow run, especially with it being rapid chess, it's going to take me longer to film, and we can kind of print those out a little bit slower. Let me know if you want to see 1 a week or 2 a week on that series. And again, discount code is June 30, hours left. See y'all soon. I wanted to finish this video out by giving a shout out to my Patreon supporters, including Walter, Rob, Ray, Roger, and Jerry. I appreciate y'all a ton, as well as the rest of my Patreon community. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon before, make sure to go check it out. There's some exclusive benefits that you gain by becoming a member, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.